guys to this amazing YouTube platform. As we are doing the series to complete biology class 10th, we have seen a lot about biology, and that comprises your chapter number 1, that is your life processes. In my first video, I have talked a lot about life processes, their basic definition, and the most important thing we have seen, and we have put our eye on the important point, mind map and extra star mark questions. Hope you all enjoy a lot, and if new ones are just seeing this video right now, I just say to you all, go and watch this video first of all, then come to the second video that comprises your of heterotropic mode of nutrition. And as today what we are going to begin, nothing written about, but let me clear to you all that today we are going to begin and understand about the steps of holozoic mode of nutrition. So जिन्होंने second video watch up किया, that's great, and they know what we are going to begin. So if you have not watched these two videos, go right now and watch them, then come to this third part of this following chapter, life processes. So as we have discussed a lot about heterotropic mode of nutrition, in that we have seen that it comprises three basic parts. What were your three basic parts? That were your holozoic mode of nutrition, then we have saprophytic mode of nutrition, and then we have parasitic mode of nutrition. Hope you all just enjoy a lot about that. Now, what today we are going to begin, as I told you, is steps of holozoic mode of nutrition, not the steps of saprophytic or the parasitic. You will say, why will not just focus or give an eye on the topic saprophytic or a parasitic? Because there is a reason. See friends, in the holozoic mode of nutrition, what I told you, उसमें क्या था? Simple. The comments, answers are coming and they are really appropriate. So उसमें जो examples हमने देखे थे, that comprises your amoeba, then we have paramecium, and last but not least we have the most important one, that is your animals. We have seen basic categories of animals, that were your herbivores, carnivores and omnivores. So as we know from these animal category, our humans also is a part of the animal. That is why we are going to focus upon the topic steps of the holozoic mode of nutrition. And I told you कि इसके बाद हम digestion का जो प्रोसेस या फिर ट्रैक है उसको स्टार्टअप करने वाले हैं बहुत ही स्पीड से, इसीलिए स्टेप्स ऑफ holozoic mode of nutrition के बाद ही इसी सेम वीडियो में हम ह्यूमन के डाइजेस्टिव सिस्टम और जो ह्यूमन की बेसिक डायग्राम्स हैं उन्हें देखेंगे. So without wasting time, let us start with the steps of the holozoic mode of nutrition. Let's begin. Write the steps of holozoic mode of nutrition. As we are aware of this term, basically holozoic, and I told you what happens in this. In this, organisms feed their food as a whole food material, and then what happens? That organism with whatever they have eaten, like food, simple, as a whole food, then they absorb the food by that particular thing or just food, and then they just digest it, or as a removal they just throw out the undigested food, whatever the digested food was there, so they have just eaten and they get the energy and absorbed by the body, but whatever the undigested food was present in that particular organism were thrown out from the body as a removal or a waste. So this was all about the holozoic, whatever we have discussed, but today we are going to see the steps taken by holozoic of nutrition, कि कैसे ये process होता है. खा तो लिया उसने, but how the organism absorb the food, how the as a form of removal or a waste it is just thrown out of the body. So these all things, how it actually happens. So these all things happen in the form of steps. So let's write the following steps of holozoic mode of nutrition. So we have the steps of holozoic mode of nutrition. So the first step that we have is simple: feeding or ingestion. whatever you want to say or just give the name, you can give as a feed in or ingestion. They both mean the same as eating something or taking in food. ठीक है, अंदर खाना लेना, that is simple known as feeding or ingestion. So what happens in the feeding or ingestion of food? Simple. In this you can write over here giving the dash that taking in food. What happens in this? Taking in food. Simple happens in the feeding or ingestion of the food. Now after this what happened? This too we know, all right. Then we go through the second step, that is nothing but feeding and ingestion we have done. Then what will be done so we can get the energy, we can absorb the food? That is your digestion. So here goes your point as digestion. Now what happens in digestion? Simple. In this you can just have a good eye on this particular thing because it is really important. और इसके बाद steps of follow के बाद हम इसी topic पे as a human digestive system को ही देखने वाले, so please focus on this particular terms very importantly. Now see, as we are having the point digestion, so in this what happened? In this the breakdown किसका होता है? Breakdown of the complex substances or a food, whatever you want to say. So breakdown of the complex substances, breakdown of the complex sentences. Complex, or what I mean कि बड़े बड़े जो पीस होते हैं substances, material, whatever you want to say, of a food, so उन्हें ये break down करता है. कौन करता है? Digestion. I'll write the whole thing about that. And into what it just break down? Into the smaller what? Smaller soluble substances or a material. What do you want to say? Material, I mean liquid one, alright? So you can see over here what is the use or the role of the digestion. So digestion का role जो है वो breakdown, तोड़ना. किसका तोड़ना? Complex food material और a substance, ठीक है, जो कॉम्प्लेक्स बड़े बड़े फूड के मटेरियल या फिर सब्सटेंस प्रेजेंट है बॉडी के अंदर आफ्टर द इंजेक्शन के बाद जो कि फूड मटेरियल है जो कॉम्प्लेक्स टाइप का है, उन्हें वो ब्रेक डाउन करता है. किस में ब्रेक डाउन करता है? इस स्मॉलर सल्यूबल सब्सटेंस. व्हाट आई मीन ऑफ सल्यूबल? क्योंकि सल्यूबल नहीं होगा अगर डाइजेशन के बाद, सो देन हाउ इट विल गो थ्रू द स्मॉल इंटेस्टाइन और आगे के प्रोसेस उसमें कैसे होंगे. सो दैट इज वाई द मेन रोल ऑफ हियर इज डाइजेशन इज जस्ट टू ब्रेक डाउन द कॉम्प्लेक्स सब्सटेंसेस इनटू द smaller soluble substances. Hope you enjoy a lot and you understand about this term. Now after the feed in or ingestion and then we go through the digestion, what comes over here in the third point? What happens over here, guys? If the comments are coming, so that's great. I'll give you a just thumbs up if your answer will be appropriate. Now let's see कि यहाँ पे third point क्या होता है. Feeding हो गया, ingestion हो गया. अब डाइजेस्ट फूड हो गया. अब डाइजेशन में बिफोर गोइंग टू दी थर्ड पार्ट आई वुड लाइक टू टेल यू डाइजेशन जब हो जाता है, कंप्लीट अप हो जाता है, उसके 2 फैक्टर या फिर रीजन निकल के आते हैं. व्हाट वाज दैट फैक्टर्स? सो डाइजेशन के 2 बेसिक फैक्टर्स निकल के आते हैं. व्हाट आई मीन आई हियर कि डाइजेशन जो फूड को डाइजेस्ट करेगा बॉडी, ठीक है, उसमें से 2 जो आएंगे कि एक जो फूड होगा वो digested food hoga, all right, and the second will be we have as undigested food. So what I mean over here, see, digestion हुआ body के through किसका? food का. अब वो food जो digest हो गया into smaller soluble substances, उसने 2 चीज़ें फॉर्म करी. एक तो जो सल्यूबल सब्सटेंसेस है उसमें एक तो सल्यूबल जो है वो डाइजेस्टेड है और एक अनडाइजेस्टेड है, जिसको हमारी बॉडी डाइजेस्टेड, और आई मीन डाइजेस्टेड फूड की वो खाना जो हमारी बॉडी एब्जॉर्व कर सकती है हमारे बॉडी के सेल से. बट अनडाइजेस्टेड फूड व्हाट आई मीन कि अनडाइजेस्ट फूड जिन्हें बॉडी के थ्रू से बॉडी के एनएस या फिर एक्सक्रीशन करके उसे थ्रू आउट कर दिया जाता है बॉडी से, तो वो अनडाइजेस्टेड फूड होगा. एंड व्हाई ओवर हियर आई यूज्ड अनडाइजेस्टेड फूड. See, डाइजेस्टेड तो हमें पता चल रहा है कि कोई चीज़ डाइजेस्ट हो गई अच्छे से और उसका हम एब्जॉर्प्शन कर सकते हैं, बट अनडाइजेस्टेड क्यों यूज किया? क्योंकि कुछ ऐसे मटेरियल होते हैं जैसे कि आप कभी यू हैव ईटन मैदा से बनी चीज़ें. वाई यू आर सेड नॉट टू यूज जंक फूड वेरी मच? बिकॉज ऑफ दीज रीजन्स. क्योंकि जो जंक फूड है एंड द बेसिक थिंग इज मैदा से बनी चीज़ें होती हैं, उन्हें आप लोगों को मना किया जाता है ज़्यादा खाने से. व्हाट इज द रीज़न बिहाइंड दैट? सो द रीज़न बिहाइंड दैट इज कि वो अनडाइजेस्टेड होते हैं, वो डाइजेस्ट करने में बहुत प्रॉब्लम होती है बॉडी के थ्रू, इसीलिए वो अनडाइजेस्टेड फूड की कैटेगरी में कभी कभी आ जाते हैं. And digested food we use as daily to daily life, green veggies, and we have many things that we use, and pulses, veggies and everything. So that comes in the category of digested food. So that is why I told you कि digested food body के through absorb किया जा सकता है, और undigested food जो body के through absorb नहीं किया जाता है वो removal के form में as a waste body के out कर दिया जाता है. Hope so you understand about the topic digestion. Let's move further in the third part. Yes guys? Okay, let's see the third part. So I'm erasing this much only. So we have the third part over here. What we have the third part? We have done the feed-in or ingestion, then digestion. अब digestion हो गया, then we go through the two things, digested food and undigested food. तो सबसे पहले digested food को body के through absorb कर दिया जाए, फिर undigested food को body के through निकाल दिया जाए. तो सबसे पहले absorption ही कर लेते हैं. So we have the third part, the absorption of the food particle that are digested. So in this what happened? In this simple goes that digested food, I can write over here that digested food is what? Digested food is absorbed. Digested food is absorbed by body. So in the absorption what happened कि जो digested food है वो body के through absorb किया जा सकता है. Alright? Okay. Then digested food को absorb कर लिए. अब digestion जो कि यहाँ का 2 बार निकला था, digested और undigested food. अब जो digested food था उसका काम तो हो गया and it has been finished. Now the time and the just remaining one is undigested food. तो उसी को भी हम लोग कर लेते हैं. So after the absorption, the fourth point goes to, just a second. So the fourth point goes to excretion. So what happens in this? Removal of the waste. Simple. So removal of the waste, and waste is what? Undigested food, and the answers are really appropriate. Removal of undigested food. Hope you understand about the work of the excretion. Then we have done the feed and ingestion, we have done the digestion. I am talking about holozoic mode of nutrition. Alright, don't just focus or don't go through about the topic holozoic. See whatever the steps I am talking about. Feeding and ingestion we have done the digestion, we have done the absorption, then excretion. Now see, absorption to also have been done by the digested food, but the energy till here we have not get. So let's take the energy from the absorbed food after the excretion. After the waste, we are going to the fifth point, that is nothing but assimilation. Very easiest one, don't take it just roughly. Assimilation is very easiest one. Assimilation. So in this what happens? Simple, you can write the energy, getting energy. Getting energy by what? By the cell or the particle of the cell that goes to the digested food and absorbed following food and give the body energy. And also here happens as feeding we have done, injection we have done the absorption, we have done the excretion, and then we goes to the assimilation. Now we have seen energy, so we are getting by the digested food. Now assimilation के अंदर एक और प्रोसेस होता है कि ये जो एनर्जी है इसको कभी कभी ये इनटू एनर्जी को कन्वर्ट कर देता है. वी हैव गोइंग प्रोटोप्लाज्म. So assimilation के अंदर एनर्जी, so we get the energy, we gain the energy, but happen here the gist is कि assimilation के अंदर एनर्जी को प्रोटोप्लाज्म में assimilate कर देता है. What do I mean of the part protoplasm? Let me write over here. We have the spelling, we have the at protoplasm. ये क्या चीज़ है? So let me clear what is this. So protoplasm are the liquid type of material and protoplasm is said to be as a living part. What I mean of living? जीवित अंग होता है, एक पार्ट होता है बॉडी का. एसिमिलेशन के अंदर होता है ये. एसिमिलेशन की स्टेप से प्रोटोप्लाज्म होता है. जैसे कि you are known the word as we have talked about the we have seen nucleus in the body and other many organelles. Not I am talking about organism, I am talking about organelles. We have seen the cytoplasm, we have seen the work of nucleus, same as here protoplasm. So they are all as the liquid तरह के material होते हैं, substances होते हैं और ये एक living part की तरह रहते हैं. As in living, ये सब living part कहलाते हैं. And they are just किस में होते हैं ये अगर पूछ लिया जाए, so they are present in the cell. सेल के अंदर प्रोटोप्लाज्म एंड वी हैव द न्यूक्लियस, दे आर प्रेजेंट इन द इनसाइड द सेल. सो प्रोटोप्लाज्म भी सेल के अंदर प्रेजेंट होता है एंड दे आर द लिविंग पार्ट्स ऑफ द cell. Hope so you understand about all these things of the steps of the holozoic mode of nutrition. We have talked a lot about that. We have seen कि पहला step था feeding और ingestion, then we have the digestion, then we have the absorption of the food. Absorb हो गया food, तो undigested food है वो excrete हो जाएगा या फिर excretion हो जाएगा. फिर उसके बाद जो absorbed food था और डाइजेस्टेड फूड था उससे हम लोग एनर्जी को गेन करेंगे. एनर्जी को गेन करने टाइम सेल में प्रोटोप्लाज्म भी प्रेजेंट अप हो जाता है. प्रोटोप्लाज्म क्या है? एज आई टोल्ड यू, प्रोटोप्लाज्म एक लिक्विड मटेरियल है जो कि सेल के इनसाइड में प्रेजेंट होता है. एज सिमिलर एज वी हैव द न्यूक्लियस एंड वी हैव द साइटोप्लाज्म एंड मेनी अदर organelles, not organism, it's organelles. Alright, so you can take the screenshot if you want, then we'll move ahead and understand about the digestion in the human's body. Now let's go ahead and understand the nutrition in human body. So as we know about the term in nutrition in human body is simple. Another name we go through. So we get digestion in human body. Alright. So before learning about this amazing and interesting topic, let me just ask you a question as in formal way. What do you mean here? As I ask you कि आपके अंदर बॉडी के अंदर डाइजेशन कैसे होता है. You have not read the chapter still now and I am asking right now कि आपके अंदर डाइजेशन कैसे होता है. So you know some of the basic points, not the exact one, not in brief, you know the basic points. And the basic points you will say that first of all we eat something, then it goes to the food pipe. You know, even though you don't know the name of the food pipe, that is nothing but esophagus, but somewhat know that's great. If you don't know, I'm talking about right now कि अगर आपको नहीं पता और अगर आपसे किसी ने डाइजेशन का जो ट्रैक है, ये जो स्टेप है पूछ लिया, तो आप उसको कैसे अंडरस्टैंड करेंगे, कैसे उसे बताएंगे. सो यू विल से वी गेट फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल फूड फ्रॉम द माउथ, देन इट गोज टू द फूड पाइप और esophagus. Then it goes to stomach. We have the lungs and everything, but there is no use of that. We don't know actually. Then it goes to stomach. Then it goes to small intestine. Then it goes to large intestine. And then the digested food we get energy, and undigested food just move out from the body. So these things occurs in daily to daily lives as in formal way if I ask you. But if we go further about understanding these of the topics in brief, what was that? अगर आपसे कोई पूछ ले व्हाट इज बंगल कैविटी, अगर आपसे पूछ ले कि व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय salivary glands, if someone asks you what do you mean by colon, would you able to answer that questions? Definitely not. So by that, if you want to understand and you really want and you really need to understand these all topics, कि अगर आपसे कोई क्वेश्चन कर ले, क्वेश्चन पुट करे, so you are able to answer each of that question. So are you guys want that? And the answers are right. So let's begin and understand the nutrition in human's body. Let's begin. So we starting with nutrition in human body. If I write the definition of nutrition in human body, so we can write over here the digestion or nutrition taking in the human body. The digestion in human body is all made up of two basic things. What are the two basic things? That is your, first we have alimentary canal, and the most appropriate one. Alright, then we have alimentary canal, and we have the basic one, associated glands. See friends, many times we have the question occurring from these two topics, and only not these two topics, under these topics. What do you mean by under? We will study alimentary canal, and there are many further subtopics of alimentary canal and their basic definition and their basic uses. Similar we will study about the associated gland, और इसके अंदर भी definition, सब topic और इसके uses पे बहुत सारे question form up हुए हैं और पूछे भी गए हैं. So we will put that particular thing in the equation arise हुए हैं, then we will study about the nutrition. So let's begin and understand about the digestion happening in the human's body. So we have here the nutrition in human body. Let's see, we have drawn the diagram over here. Now it is a human diagram. Now let's see how we can able to identify the organism, or the organelles which are present in the human body. How we can just indicate that this is which organ, this is which part, this is which part. So let's see, we're starting with the we have the two things that were your alimentary canal and associated glands. So let's start with alimentary canal, then we will go to associated gland. They both come with the both categories at the same place, like we have the alimentary canal at the first, then secondly we can have associated gland. So they are the mixing, and you know the mixing of the alimentary canal and associated gland is simple refers to your nutrition in human's body. So let's see how we can indicate these all things. So first of all, the first thing that we really are knowing about these all things, so that is nothing but we have the mouth. So let's see where we can indicate the mouth. So here we are indicating the mouth as in form of, we can over here write mouth. So the first step that is goes over here with mouth. Just a second, we have arrow over here. Alright, so this is indicating your mouth. Then after mouth we have the buccal cavity as the upper part of the salivary gland. We are knowing about that. So let's indicate the buccal cavity present in the mouth. So we have the buccal cavity, just this here over here. This is your, I am writing for you all. And if you have a plain digestive system like this or a diagram for human, just do with me and try to do, and you will definitely remember these all things. How I am able to remember. We have the mouth, and here we have mouth as a buccal cavity. So as I told you, the upper side of the salivary gland is simply refers to your buccal cavity. Now after buccal cavity, as I told you, we have the salivary glands. So let's see, pointing out we have the salivary glands. So we have done the three basic things from where our food just start going in, that is your mouth. Then the second we have the mouth as in buccal cavity. Then we have the salivary gland. Now by which we are able, here, buccal cavity. So near buccal cavity, it is your present as prenix. What I mean? What I pronounce is prenix. So let me write for you all, then we'll see where this prenix is present over here. So we have the prenix, and where it is present? It is present beside or downside of the buccal cavity. So here we have, let us draw the point over here for indicating everything. we have the mouth as in buccal cavity. Then we have downside of the buccal cavity, pharynx. Now, after pharynx, we know what happened. It goes to the food pipe. But you don't need to write the food pipe. We have the name for food pipe as we have the name, and the most prominent name that is esophagus. Hope so you are enjoying a lot and you are understanding everything. So we have done the esophagus. Then after pharynx, it goes to the esophagus. Now after esophagus, we have the diaphragm, and which are attached to our lungs. About the lungs, we will study because lungs is not the part of the associated glands or alimentary canal. It is a part or a step of respiration. In that, we will see the uses of lungs and where it comes in the diagram. But we need to just show the diaphragm. So this part, like this part, we have the diaphragm. We know it just goes up and down, and all the things and parts we will study in the respiration. So see over here, we have diaphragm. Point out diaphragm over here and write diaphragm. Alright. Now, after diaphragm, we have completed diaphragm, then it will go where? It goes to stomach. So we can find out over here, we have the stomach. Let me review one thing more, and you can understand. We have the mouth, then we have the secondly mouth as a buccal cavity, then we have downside of the buccal cavity, we have the pharynx, then we have the salivary glands, then we have the esophagus, then we have the diaphragm, and then we have the stomach. Hope you understand these all things. Let's go further. Now, beside the stomach, as in right side of the stomach, what we have? Before going further, let me clear, we have the bile duct. What is bile duct? It is present in the gallbladder, as in it is called as a store of bile. Store of bile. That is simply known as gallbladder. So, let us clear where these all things, whatever I am speaking, it is present. So, we have first of all, beside the stomach, what do we have? We have the liver. Alright, we have the liver. Then after liver, in the liver, what is present? I told you that is present to gallbladder, which is called a story bile. So you can write over here this point. The symbol refers to your as gallbladder. Now, as I told you, gallbladder is also called what is it called? As a store bile. If you want to write, you can write over here as per your wish. Let me write correctly. Let me move it. We have the gallbladder. Now, inside the gallbladder, as I told you, it is present a bile duct which you can indicate easily, and bile duct is here as an opening point of the gallbladder. You can find out over here. We have as a bile duct. Gallbladder, in the mouth of the gallbladder, we have as a bile duct. You can imagine and you can understand easily. Then after, or the downside of the bile duct and the downside of the liver, we have the pancreas. You can write over here, we have the pancreas. Alright, then we are talking about the pancreas, and after the stomach we have done the small intestine, and we have done the pancreas. Then downside of the pancreas, it is present your small intestine, which is started from over here. Here you start with small intestine and it will go to here. You can see over here. So you can write over here the uses of small intestine come. Small intestine. Let me just indicate everything, then I'll tell you one by one, and I'll just give you a review of all these things from where we started yet. Alright, so what we are discussing, we have the pancreas, Then we have the small intestine. As I told you, small intestine have further two names and it can be indicated very easily, that were your ileum and duodenum. You can write and you can just give the two axes, which is over here and over here. We have the duodenum. As the downside, which is the long pipe of the small intestine, is ileum, and we have the upper side of the small intestine as duodenum. Duodenum, alright. You have as. Hope so this much clear to you. Now let's go ahead and understand about the large intestine. So small intestine का वर्क अब कंप्लीट हुआ है. अब हमारा जो इसके नीचे आ जाता है वो है हमारा large intestine. So we have where large intestine, we are aware of that. So this is our, where I can write? Okay. So we have over here as large intestine. Large intestine, you can see over here the long pipe. Alright, so large intestine, the another name of large intestine we have is a colon, as in upper part of the large intestine, and the downside we have the rectum. We have the colon, and the downside of this we have as rectum. They both are the part of the large intestine, remember this. Then we have the anus, as you know, for the excretion of the waste. Then we are just not focused upon the eye. One thing that is this. This is called your appendix. Alright, you can write over here. This is the appendix. There is use of appendix as a very importantly. You are knowing. You don't know. Even though in the book it is not written the use of appendix. Somebody can see if it's written. It's good. But I will tell you the use of appendix. So don't worry about that. We have the appendix. Alright, so also we have done all the diagram and we have pointed out each of the parts of the human digestive system. If we go through review of all these things, so what comes, let us see. We have first of all mouth, then we have the secondly buccal cavity, of the same we have the mouth, then we goes to pharynx as the downside of the buccal cavity, then we have the salivary gland, then we have the esophagus, yes, we have the esophagus. Then we have the diaphragm, then we have the stomach. Besides the stomach, we have what? We have the liver. Inside the liver, we have the gallbladder, which is also called stored bile. We have then the mouth of the gallbladder as in bile duct. Then we have here stomach. Downside of the stomach, we have the pancreas, and we know that it happens your small intestine, and we have the two basic parts of small intestine, that is nothing but ileum and duodenum, which is upper part of here. I am indicating not here, this part. Alright, so we have the duodenum and the whole small intestine is known as ileum. Then we have same, but for the two parts of the large intestine, that is nothing but the upper part is colon and the downside part is rectum. And then we have anus for the excretion of waste, and at this side of the large intestine we have the appendix. It is not the part of the large intestine, but it is shown to be at the part of the large intestine. That is your appendix. So this was all about the digestive tract, with including the associated gland and alimentary canal in the digestion of a human body. Hope you understand each of them. As I told you, I have discussed a lot about today in this particular video about these all things. Now we will see each of their uses, their definition, their basic parts and their basic subtopics. Remember कि जो हमारा क्लास 10 का एग्जाम बायोलॉजी का होगा एंड जस्ट न्यू बैचेस को हम लोग शुरू कर रहे हैं एज यू नो, उसमें जो पार्ट्स के भी सब टॉपिक्स हैं और उनकी जो डेफिनेशन, उसमें जो इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट है वहाँ से भी आपका क्वेश्चन एज अ फॉर्म ऑफ एमसीक्यू और अ डेफिनेशन और 1 point mark कैन बी आस्क्ड. So don't worry, we will discuss each of them and I'll be back by discussing the definition of all these things. So if you want to take the screenshot of these further things, you can take it. And if you have not seen the syllabus of class 10, 2022 and 23, you can see. And therefore the many friends are there which have seen. And if you have not seen, go right now and watch this. And if you want other subjects playlist, that we have the biology, we have the physics, we have the math and dash. You can go to the playlist of 3D studies, you can watch it easily. And if you have not till here, subscribe the channel, get it right now. Also press the bell icon present right below it. If you want to ask any of the question, if you have any of the doubt regarding your question, write in the comment box. I'll definitely solve your query. If you have the big query, I'll bring a separate video on that. Till that, thank you and bye-bye.